Today we're going to do a bit of a Q&A, but before we get into that, I've got to make the shortest trip to Brighton I think anyone has ever taken. Some people go to Brighton for the day, some people go for a weekend or a week. Me, roughly about 10 minutes. I recently hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel and I've been building up this channel for 8 years, so this is a big milestone that I've been looking forward to for a really long time. Now, I didn't just want to let this go past and not actually properly celebrate it, so I thought I would be a common ground YouTuber, and I have actually ordered a cake. Maybe it's gone a bit too far, maybe it hasn't, you be the judge of that. And it's from a company called Cakebox. The nearest store to me is in Brighton. If I wanted them to deliver it, it would have cost me £25. Excuse me, sir, hello. Not on my watch, Sunny Jim, when I can get literally the train down there for, I don't know, about like £6. So I thought, you know what, I might as well just hop on the train, go down there, pick it up myself and bring it back. I also did wonder, like, maybe if I go down there, I can spend the whole day in Brighton. We can do like a little Brighton vlog with a Q&A on the beach and stuff. But then I remembered it's summer holidays and it is going to be busy AF down there, not to mention the seagulls. Do I want those pesky little seagulls getting at my 10k cake? No. So I've decided to come back here and go for a little picnic somewhere. So come with me on a little mini travel day slash picnic slash Q&A. We're going to answer a load of questions. I've got so many to get through in this vlog. So enough of the yapping, let's get flapping. Enough of the yapping, let's get flapping. To pick up a cake. Amazing, thank you so much.
Is it a gift?
No, it's for me.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You too. Guys, it looks so good. I'm so excited to have some. We have secured the goods. I'm hoping it's not squashed or anything. I've not looked at it yet, so we're gonna have a look at it together. Felt like an idiot in that shop, honestly, because like, oh, 10k, or what, are you on social media? And I was like, yeah, on YouTube. And he was like, oh, subscribe. And I was like, no, don't worry. Hey, the point is to get people to subscribe. But also, I was like really self-conscious that at this point in time, the last few vlogs have been me crashing out. And so for a total stranger to go and look on my channel and be like, oh my god, this woman is mad. She's mentally unstable. Why does she even have 10k? Oh no. Guys, it's smooshed. I tried so hard, delicately, to carry it back in my trusty little bag. Other than that though, other than the smoosh, it looks pretty, so maybe I can fix it somehow. I'm gonna attempt to salvage it. Okie dokie. That is genuinely the best I'm gonna get. So commence the picnic and commence the Q&A. Let's go. We've got the whole field to ourselves. The fact that I have managed to find an empty spot in the middle of peak summer holidays deserves a round of applause. I'm so hungry. I picked up a couple of things in M&S at the train station. Cost a fortune, but there we go. So we have a classic BLT sandwich. We've got some apple slices, delicious, and some carrots with hummus. Does it get any more picnicky than that? I always forget that I don't really like bacon, but a BLT always sounds so appealing. Make it make sense. Okay guys, before we get into this Q&A, I do just want to tell you that I'm going to do a little giveaway at the end of this video. So if you stick around, you might be able to win some free stuff. Let's get into it. Can confirm the field is now definitely not empty. I had my time and I chose it to eat a BLT. So our first question of today. Any suggestions to stop feeling like I'm reliving the same day / issues over and over again? Hello. Funnily enough, I actually made a video about this 2 years ago now. It's called Same Shit, Different Day. This video here, wow, where I tried to break out of Groundhog Day because I was so sick of doing the same thing over and over again. Highly recommend you watch the video, but if you want the shortened version of it, what I did is is live your day like you normally would, and make a note of the points where you feel that friction. When you come to something that you're like, oh, this is the exact same, I want you to put a pin in it and continue living out that day, putting pins in all the things that you feel like are just rinse and repeat. And then the next day, when you come to a pin, I want you to remove it and do it differently, intentionally differently, even if it's just a slight change. Just like really makes you aware of what the sticking points are and what the friction points are when it comes to Groundhog Day. Even if it is just a small change, like you always sit in the same seat for breakfast every single morning, switch up a seat, go to a different room, eat it on the floor if you have to. Maybe not your breakfast off of the floor, but obviously preferably hygienic, and it's not going to make you ill. So I feel like that's a very poor explanation of the video. So if you want to go and see that vlog, I will leave that link below. But that is how I have done it before, and actually it's a kick up the arse to try it again, because I do feel like every day at the moment is rinse and repeat. So I really feel you on that one. Ever make plans and just can't seem to make it out? How do you get out? Yes, I've had to cancel plans last minute. You feel really guilty for doing that. And how do I get out? It really kind of just depends on the brain capacity. Today I had a purpose, I had a reason to go out, mainly to save 25 quid on delivery, but whatever works, am I right? Either having someone to go out with or having a purpose to go out with. That's how I get out. Otherwise, I just don't. I mean, there's been plenty of vlogs this year where I've struggled to get out the house by myself. So if that is you, you're not alone in that. Any tips for a 16-year-old who struggles to get out of the house because of bullying? I'm so sorry you're being bullied. That is horrible. Let me just say something about bullies real quick. If you're getting bullied, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the other person who's bullying you. They themselves have likely been bullied or have been bullied, and they don't know how to cope with it, so they take it out on other people. But I promise you, the best way of dealing with bullies is to ignore them, because if you keep on reacting, it's just like fuel to the fire. But as soon as you start ignoring it, they get bored and they move on. Any tips for how to get out of the house? I think it's really important to, 1, make sure that you've told someone or told people about it. 2, find a safe person to go out with. So someone who you feel safe with, whether that's your mom, your dad, your sibling, your cousin, friend, go out with them. They can help you to get out of the house. You don't have to change yourself to try fit in with bullies. I've had to sit up now because your girl's getting old. So what I would do is, number 1, find someone that you feel safe enough to go outside with. Number 2, try and really figure out what you were telling yourself. What's the narrative that you were telling yourself about this? And then once you kind of figure that out, you can start to like reframe it. Reframe how you feel. Tell yourself that you are worthy of going out. You are allowed to experience the world and life. You don't have to be stuck in a cage inside. That's how they're gonna win. I will say that something that sometimes helps me get out of the house is wearing a hat and sunglasses. My boyfriend calls it like my disguise, my little disguise. I don't know whether that works for anyone else. Again, I'm really sorry you're getting bullied. It's horrible. I truly get it. I'm sending you so much love. I'm rooting for you. Okay. Respectfully, I'm intrigued by your partner's response to your videos. In your spiraling, how does he or your family support you? I don't think my boyfriend watches my videos. It's not really his cup of tea, fair enough. Or maybe he's a silent watcher. Maybe he'll watch the occasional one, but he's not an avid watcher. I don't really know his response to the videos. I assume you're meaning like more recent videos, spiraling, the crashing out. He gets a lot of that behind the scenes, so he already gets the full brunt of it. He doesn't really need to see the videos, I suppose, to know that I'm not doing okay. So a way that he supports me is listening. Sometimes I feel like he thinks that he needs to fix it, when really all I just want is someone to listen and just care, you know, and just kind of root for me in a way. And it is really hard being long distance, because a lot of the times I feel like I just need a hug from him, and obviously we can't because we're long distance. I will say that I definitely find that when I am with him, especially more recently, that darkness has lifted quite a bit. I mean, ever since I've been down here with him, I feel more like my normal self than I was when I'm back home, and it always makes me worried that am I going to go back home and then this darkness is going to come over again. In terms of my family, I find it really difficult to show them that I'm not doing well, because I don't want to be a burden on them. There was this huge rift between someone very close to me where they tried to persistently get me on anxiety medication, even though I told them from the beginning that is not something that I'm interested in. It's amazing that it works for so many people and so many people feel better on it, but I just personally, I made it very clear that I wasn't interested, but despite that, they kept crossing the boundaries. So ever since then, I just feel like I can't really be open with them because I don't want another big rift like that. Me and my family were pretty close. I'm really lucky to say that we are all pretty close and we do get on, but this rift has kind of taught me that in order to keep the peace, I need to hide some things from some people. But I'm very, very lucky that I have James for support. Does that answer your question? I don't know. A while ago you talked about anxiety about the thought of getting married. Do you still think that loneliness would be the first feeling? Yes, 100%. I mean, how could it not be? Every time I go to a wedding, I look around and I'm like, who would come to my wedding? Literally who would? Every time I see hen do's on social media and stuff, I still get that pang of loneliness. Who would come to my hen do? Maybe a couple of cousins. Fortunately though, I am not interested in getting married for a long time. Doesn't interest me. Sometimes I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool? Then it pretty much goes and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't really want to get married yet. Unfortunately, my boyfriend thinks the same thing. In fact, I think I said to him last year, I said, James, I think we need to talk about marriage. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, we're a few years out. And he's like, okay, thank God. And I was like, okay, cool. We're both on the same page then. Neither of us are really interested at the moment, so works well. What to do when I don't have any friends? I'm 17 and feel lonely. First of all, I'm sorry that you feel so lonely at 17. It's difficult being a teenager and feeling lonely. I wish I had a magic formula to give to you and be like, look, if you do this, this, and this, then you will have 1,000,001 friends. But I feel like I'd be a bit of a hypocrite to say that because I'm 31 and I don't have any close friends, any friendship groups or anything like that. So things that I would suggest, if you are able to manage it, especially at 17, I wish I'd done this at 17, is go out and find them. Find the fuckers. Get out of your comfort zone. Start up a new hobby. You could try joining a club, whether it's book club, a karate club, a tennis club, a sports club. Should we just summarise it as sports? Yes. Or you could sign up for pottery painting lessons or art lessons, or find a class that you kind of want to do as well. Again, this will just be my assumption here, but by putting yourself out there, by going to these different groups or clubs or crafty things, you might be able to find your people by doing that and find new friends to make connections with. That would be my number one thing, because I remember thinking this at 18. I was like, oh my god, I'm so lonely. And I hate the fact that I just sat with that and did nothing about it. Don't be me. Even if you feel anxious and nervous, push yourself out of the comfort zone and try and join something, because you never know who you're going to meet there. And they say, don't they, you've not met everyone that you're going to meet in your life yet. I'm still holding on to that. But if you can, that would be my number one thing to do. Or you could download something like Bumble, where you can find friends on that. If you feel comfortable with that, you can do that. Or just find an online society that is your kind of person. I'm pretty sure there's something all around the UK. I don't know where you are, by the way. Maybe look in your area, but there is something that's starting to pop up, which is girls only group where they go out for walks, or they do activities in the summer, or whatever it is. If I can remember the name of it, I will put it on the screen. There's loads of different starting to crop up all around the UK, and I freaking love that you're able to go there knowing that it's female only, because if you're a little bit like me and scared of the old safety, that will be a really nice comforting thing. So have a look around in your area, see if there's anything like that, and I truly hope you find your people soon. What's one thing you regret in your teenage years? Oh my god, the biggest thing I regret in my teenage years is trying to conform to Christianity. Long story short, every year in the summer holidays, me and my brother would go down to Cornwall to see my Cornish cousins, and they all went to Christian camp, so me and my brother ended up joining them most of the time. Yeah, this makes me so mad. This is a whole other subject that I could go on and on about, and the stuff that happened, but I don't want this video to be 10 hours long, so that I will just summarise it as I hated the fact that I tried to be a Christian, because it was never me. It was just full of gaslighting and guilt blaming and manipulation. It never really stuck. Don't even get me started on my condition, CF, and chronic illness, and how that played a role into religion. Fuming, mate, fuming, absolutely. Never again. I'm a hardcore atheist now. The biggest lie to humanity ever. The moment I decided that this was not for me, relief so much relief. I felt so much freedom from being able to be myself and not be filled with this guilt or shame or embarrassment or prejudice from other people. I felt like these chains come off, and they tell you that, you know, you feel these chains and you feel the freedom when you give your heart to God. Never felt that, mate. Never felt that. I don't know if you've ever been to these like big Christian camps like Soul Survivor. It's basically like a cult, and it just kind of robbed me of so many teenage experiences. It was always very held back and very reserved, because I was like, well, I can't do this because I'm a Christian. Get over yourself. And if you ever want to hear any more of that or any stories from that, do let me know, because I feel like I could do a whole video on that. But I don't want to bore you if that's not anything you're interested in. Have you ever been diagnosed with mental health issues? No, I don't think I've ever been diagnosed, but I can definitely self-diagnose social anxiety and anxiety. I don't need to go to a GP to know that I've got anxiety, you know what I mean? ADHD, superpower or nah? Again, I've not been diagnosed by a psychologist or anything, but as someone who's undiagnosed and thinks, yeah, I do have a little bit of the ADHD, it is not a superpower. My biggest gripe with it, trying to get yourself to do a task and constantly putting it off. Texts, especially, replying to people is like such a big task for me to do. It's probably a good thing that I don't have a load of friends, because I'd be so stressed out all the time. I'd be like, oh my god, what do you mean I've got to reply to all these people? And then it's also the, oh my god, I've got an idea for a business, oh my god, I'm going to start this up and do this, that and the other, and then within a month just be not interested in it anymore. And nowadays, if I think, oh my god, I could start this up as a business, I say to myself, Kate, there's literally no point, because you won't be interested in this once you start doing it. Let's kind of do a crossover here, shall we, between mental health and cystic fibrosis. If you don't know, I've got a condition called cystic fibrosis, primarily affects the lungs and digestive system, but other organs too. Yippee. How do you think growing up with a chronic illness affected you and your mental health? How long have you got? I think I'm going to need to set up for this one, aren't I? Number one, feel very, very different to the people around you, to the people in your class. When I found out about the life expectancy, at that time it was 32. It's gone up now. Don't worry. Otherwise, I'd be, oh, I've got a year left, guys. Thankfully, medication has improved since then. But I found out life expectancy was 32 when I was 13. And it made me feel like I had this ticking sound timer running down. My life was draining out a lot quicker than the people around me in my class, the friends I had. I just feel like, what's the point? There's no point planning for a future. I ain't got a future. I'm gonna be dead, you know? So yeah, that whole life expectancy thing really was a big catalyst for mental health issues. I had so much shame growing up about the fact that I had CF. I felt embarrassed and I felt ashamed. Those were the two core emotions that I felt constantly from secondary school, especially. So being 11 right up to 18, and I tried to hide it from everyone, even when I had hospital appointments, even when I had to go into hospital for 2 weeks at a time. I would try and hide it. I actually remember one guy asked me, he was like, oh my god, where were you? You've been off for like 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, I went to Australia. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, it was amazing. I just felt very isolated and different from the people around me. Even the friends I had did not tell them. One of them I think already knew, because in primary school I was quite open about it, and then I started getting bullied and kind of closed that down, and I was so determined that in secondary school that no one would know. Even when friends came around my house, I would hide everything, even the letters that my parents had like pinned up and of my next hospital appointment, and I would always have to sneak around to take my tablets. I was so scared that if people found out, if those friends found out, they wouldn't want to be my friend anymore. Didn't want them to recoil or look at me differently or treat me differently because I have a condition. There's also another thing which ties into someone else's question, which is, hello, have there been any unexpected / surprising ways your CF has impacted your mental health? The thing that was always a prominent issue in every single day life was coughing. The coughing anxiety is such a real thing. Because CF affects the lungs, it meant that I was coughing hundreds of times a day. It was a bold reminder that, oh yeah, I do got a condition. Yeah, my timer is running out and I am different from people because I'm coughing all the time. And also there's this connotation, especially since COVID, where coughing is like a really bad, nasty thing. You know, society thinks that if you cough, then you got a contagious thing and you're going to give it to them. And I've literally had people cower away from me before being like, like literally disgusted with me coughing, which I don't know if you've ever tried to hold in a cough. It's really difficult. Sometimes my eyes would water, literally so many things, but the coughing anxiety really took the biscuit when COVID came around and coughing meant COVID. And that just kind of made things 100 times worse, because then people thought, oh, she's got COVID. Must mean that she's contagious. When really I have a genetic condition which you can't catch, is not contagious at all. Excuse me, Mr. Spider. No, thank you. Even when I met up with James, which is the weird, ironic thing about this, is that James has cystic fibrosis. So he understands the coughing. And even when we were just friends, before we became partners, I would genuinely have so much anxiety about coughing in front of him. He should be the last person that I should be worried about for coughing in front of, because he's literally grown up with CF. He knows what it's like. But for me, it was like this big, giant thing that I was like, no, I've got to keep this under wraps and I can't cough in front of him. Ridiculous, I know. And I knew it was ridiculous at the time, but it was just one of those things where I just couldn't get over it at all. Very, very fortunately, now there was this drug that came out in 2020 and it stopped the coughing. And now I don't cough anymore. So there's a happy ending to that story. Tying this question into the last one, how did you meet your boyfriend? There was another one of like, how did you meet your boyfriend when you're so anxious and you struggle to get out of the house? If I can find that, I will insert that here. I do get a lot of people asking me, how did you meet your boyfriend when you got so much anxiety and you struggle to get out of the house? Fair question. Basically, there was a Telegram group. If you don't know what Telegram is, it's kind of like a WhatsApp, but you don't have to put your number in, it's just using it. There was a group like that set up for a few of us with CF. I think there's only about 10 of us. It's a very small group, and James was obviously in that, and I was obviously in that. When you do have CF, you're not allowed to meet anyone else with CF, so it is all online. You might be thinking, how then did you meet your boyfriend if you're not allowed to meet each other? Rules have been broken, people. All of us in the group were swapping Instagrams and everything, and that's how me and James became friends. And we'll just say, really struggled with talking in a group of people, because I was like, oh my god, everything I say I'm going to be judged, no one's going to like me, so it's better if I don't say anything at all. And then you're kind of like not really in the group because you're not joining in, you're just watching from the sidelines. It was a weird kind of thing, but one-on-one conversations, much better. And James was just one of those friendly people who would just chat to anyone, and that's kind of how that happened. And so we were friends for quite a few years before we ever got together. We met up for the first time to go for a walk, and I remember thinking like, oh my god, I've got a friend. You know, for someone who hadn't had friends for a really long time at school, this was like my moment, you know? I know I've always found it so much easier to talk to males than females. Don't know why. Don't ask me why. I've literally no idea. Meeting with James for the first time, it was just like we were really great friends, and like we'd known each other for a long time, and it wasn't awkward, and it was fun, and it was just like, oh, this is what friendship should be, right? So that's how we met. And then years later, here I am chilling in his hometown, you know. So initially online, to meeting in person, to being a girlfriend. Wow. How do you keep work and free time separate? Do you think you spend enough time off? You seem to be working all the time. Well, let me tell you. This is the thing that you don't really see off camera, is the procrastination, is me struggling to start a task. So it might look like I'm always working, but there's plenty of behind the scenes where I'm just struggling to even start. I am definitely one of those people who, if I stop the flow, if I stop working as hard, it all just crumbles. Instead, I'm like, now I'm in this flow, I've got to keep going, because I don't want it all to crumble, because it took so long to get to this point of me being able to actually be consistent. I assume you mean with YouTube, because work has been very on and off lately. So I'm one of those people that have to keep going, that when the motivation hits, I have to take it with both hands and keep running with it. Also, Space Kids does help with that, not gonna lie. How do you keep work and free time separate? In terms of that, I will say that a lot of the evenings, when it comes 9 o'clock, that's my hour to be like, okay, you can read, you can watch a Netflix program, do whatever. That's kind of like my free time. The rest of it, I have to keep running on this hamster wheel, otherwise I will just fall and everything will just crumble and go to shreds. It's this weird system that I've got myself into. What's the biggest lesson 2025 has taught you about yourself? So far, 2025 has taught me that I can be consistent. If I find the right formula and work on the friction points, your girl can be consistent. Hello. Do you know what I kind of liken it to, actually? You know when you go to a park and there's like that roundabout thing that you like spin round and you go round and round and round and round and round. Every time in the past I have tried to jump on this roundabout, I'd always fall off because I could never be consistent. I'd try for like 2 weeks, but I could never actually stay on the roundabout. I feel like that was me this year. Like I was watching it and watching it and watching it, and then suddenly I just jumped, and then I was on it. And if I'm on it, then that's kind of like my opportunity to stay on it and keep going on. Because if I jump off for a week or two, then I'm so scared that it's going to take so much longer to try and get back on again. I don't know if this is making any sense. That's what it has taught me this year. Oh, another CF question. Are you going to stick with Trikafta or try the newer once a day? Alyftrek. Trikafta, Kaftria, it's the same drug, just different in America. It's the drug that came out 5 years ago that's completely changed my CF and my health, physical health. And now there's a better drug, a newer drug that's better than the one that's already improved my life drastically, that has just been approved. I'd much prefer the people who didn't get a chance to do well on Kaftrio to go first, obviously. So I'm very, very happy for everyone else who needs it more to obviously have it first. No rush to take it because I'm really, really lucky to say that my health is doing pretty stable at the moment. It's doing pretty well. So if it's offered, I will try it. And if I don't get the opportunity to try it, then that's also fine. What's your favourite destination for holiday? Easy peasy, the Lake District. I'm talking Lake District in the autumn, when all the leaves are changing colours and it's rainy and it's cosy, and that's just the Lake District for me. I did a couple of vlogs last year when I went to the Lake District, if you want to go and check that out. What's your favourite music? That is actually a really difficult question because I have such an eclectic range, from heavy symphonic metal to Taylor Swift to rap to big like orchestral cinematic soundtracks, and it also kind of depends what mood I'm in. If you ever want to know how I'm doing, listen to the music I'm listening to. That would tell you everything. Anyway, this is a bit of a funny story. This person said, can we date? The same person also told me that I look really, really old. In a picture that I posted to my stories yesterday, they commented saying, ugh, old, oldie, old face. So no, to answer your question, and I refuse to answer any of your other questions. Who would win a fight? 1,000 duck-sized horses or 20 horse-sized ducks? 1,000 duck-sized horses. Oh, because then they'll be small. 20 horse-sized ducks. Is that a trick question? Horse-sized ducks could easily stamp on the thousands of mini horses. I think the 20 horse-sized ducks, final answer. What's your favourite weird idea that never made it into a video yet? Let me tell you, I had a corker of a video called Prescription Mission that is, I'd say, about 90% filmed. It was a very overdramatic skit, attention to detail I actually did on that. It was so good. It was one of those projects that I just started and never finished. I'd really love to one day go back, find that footage and edit it, see what I can make out of it without having to film anymore. So if you ever want to see that, let me know. If you had a superpower, what would it be? I think I'd be able to, I don't know, like slow down time, because I'm always late for everything. So if I just slowed it down and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna miss my train, slow down time and walk a lot quicker. Boom, you're there. It's a decent superpower in my opinion. Do you ever want kids? Probably not, no, to be honest. I'm 31, so kind of have a ticking clock on me if I am gonna have it, but I've never really had this motherly instinct in me. If anyone shows me their baby or their kid or tries to give me the baby to hold, I'm like, what are you doing? I don't want to hold that thing. Get it away from me. Which apparently isn't the right thing to say to a new mother about their brand new baby. But then I guess it would also be really different if it was your own kid, I guess. And there is like a little part of me that would be like, oh, wouldn't it be just so lovely to have something that's mine? I can teach them how to do things and how to do life better than me. But then at the same time, it's like, do I really want to bring a kid into this world? Don't think it's for me, but I'm also like in that stage where I'm like not sure. It's like, am I going to regret this if I don't do this now? Moving on. When did you know you wanted to do YouTube as a job and why? Mate, I've known for a really long time. I mean, I've had my channel since 2017, but I think it was long before then that I realised that I loved doing videos and making videos. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I had an old chunky video camera in my hand, filming absolutely everything and doing silly little videos with my school friends and stuff. It's something that I really love doing. Isn't that the goal in life? To be able to do something that you love doing and getting paid for it? Another reason, creative freedom. You get the freedom to create any video you want. You could come to a random field on a Wednesday afternoon with your picnic blanket, a BLT sandwich, and a cake that's a bit smushed. You can do that. Another part of it is just to help people feel less alone. I know what it's like growing up in your 20s, even when I was a kid, even feeling lonely all the time. And if I can do something, just a little something to help someone feel less alone, then that is so much more worth it than subscriber counts and views and getting paid. That means a lot more to me than all of that stuff. But getting paid would be nice, you know. And I think another reason why is that I just get to be myself. This channel has chopped and changed. I used to start out doing videos about cystic fibrosis, and now I'm here just bringing you along on my life. Was that the question? Did I answer it? Did I do it? I think so. What is your next goal for this channel? Would you like to do only makeup or lifestyle on it, or everything? And my next goal for the YouTube channel, it would be really nice at some point to start getting sponsorships so I can actually be in the beginnings of turning this into a job. That would be a big goal. I would never want to make this channel about makeup because I don't know how to do makeup, I don't know how to do hair. I'm basically just really rubbish at being a girl. So if you could choose to go into deep space or the bottom of the deepest sea on Earth, which one would you choose and why? That is very easy for me because I'm scared of the sea. I would go into deep space because that's way more exciting. You might be able to find other life forms out there. Alternative universes. There could be a whole universe out there with another me in it. I ain't gonna find that at the bottom of the ocean unless there's an alternative universe down there. Do you believe in UFOs? I do believe that there have got to be other forms of life out there, not just in a human form, but other forms as well that have evolved over millions and billions of years, and that we are not the only ones out there. I am so damn sure of that. Can't be. Relating to mental health, what's one piece of advice or wisdom you've discovered that you wish someone had given you? What a cracking question. This took me a while to think about, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's really relating to mental health or not. I wish someone had told me that it's okay to be yourself on camera, because for years I would conjure other people's energy, other people's personalities and behaviours, because I didn't think mine would ever be enough. But it took me a long time to realise that, yeah, okay, it's okay to be yourself on camera. In fact, that's the thing that's going to work as opposed to the rest of it. Now this year I've literally just let the full force of that take over, if you like. Watching people like Caroline Winkler and Holly Morris, if you know any of those YouTubers then you'll know, but they really taught me that, oh no, yeah, it is okay to be weird and quirky and be yourself. And people do like that. In fact, that is your unique selling point. Is that related to mental health? Kinda. When YouTube becomes your full-time job, what would an ideal day in the life look like for you? Or when? Okay, I'm here for this question, and I've not thought about it at all. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what an ideal life would look like. Probably quite similar to the life I live at the moment, just getting paid for it, you know? I would already be waking up in my own place, planning videos, editing videos, taking time out like right now, and around on Wednesday to go and sit in a field to make a video. I guess I would like to do something that kind of gives back to the people who watch me. I don't know how or what. Oh, I tell you what would be a really great thing is to be able to vlog in public without getting really embarrassed and self-conscious. That would be an ideal day in the life. It was like today. You can always tell because my voice goes really quiet. I'm so scared that people are listening to me and judging me or whatever. So that would be an ideal day, being able to make the content without the fear of judgment. Maybe we'll get that one day. How has music, whether playing the drums or being around your musical family, influenced your sense of creativity? I have a tiny bit of a musical background. I used to play the drums. I used to play the piano. I was not good at either, so I gave up. So pair that with being around my musical family really gives me a deep appreciation for music and musicians and being able to play effortlessly. I never knew how to do that. But how it impacts my sense of creativity, I suppose. Music is the only thing that helps me to write my novel. If you don't know, I've written a very poor first draft of a novel, and I am slowly getting there in the second draft, but if it wasn't for cinematic soundtracks, that book would never have been written. In fact, there is one album in particular that I listen to on repeat, and if it wasn't for that album, I'm convinced that this book would never ever be a thing. Music just sparks the creative writing side of my brain big time. Great one to end on, guys, and I'm sorry if I've not got around to your question. I've answered quite a lot, but this is the last question. If your life had a soundtrack, what 3 songs would absolutely have to be on it? Okay, number 1, I have got to have a dramatic song in there. Okay, I'm talking cinematic soundtrack song because, well, if you know me, I can be a bit dramatic, and I do love my epic instrumental music I've used a lot on the vlogs this year. So for the dramatic part of me, it would be a song called Wonderfields. That is like my favourite song to write to. It's interesting, when I listen to that song, I hear so many different elements. I hear determination, and then loss and sadness, and then fearlessness, and like almost like rising to the challenge. That song would definitely be number 1. What would number 2 be? I feel like I need a quirky song. For my quirky side, it would be A Big Pot of Hummus. My Spotify was on shuffle once and I was in the middle of a breakdown. It was not fun, and that song came on and immediately made me laugh. How random and different it is. Love your enemy, and if you cannot find a bridge, just think about your fridge and remember that you've got a big pot of hummus. So that probably would represent the random weirdness. So we've had dramatic, we've had quirky, but there is a song called Farmer and His Gun, which I know is essentially about a breakup song. But I just heard the lyrics. My feet are forward, but I think I'm going backwards. Then I realise I'll be on my own tonight. Shadows fold out like blankets on the ground. And I have related to those lyrics ever since I heard that song. It's quite a sad song, to be honest, and it is something that probably would be a soundtrack to my life. I'm not gonna lie. So those are my 3. Could you not get a more random selection? Wow. Well, I think my bum has gone numb. I think that probably concludes this Q&A. There's been a lot of questions that I'm probably going to have to cut out. Knowing me, I've waffled on for quite a long time. But thank you so much for all of your questions. And we're going to skip to Kate in the future, who has a giveaway to give you. Take it away, future Kate. Thank you, past Kate. Now, I don't have a big budget. This is all coming out of my own pocket. So I was trying to think of things that would make sense for this channel. And then it hit me. The Space Goods Discovery Starter Kit. If you don't already know, Space Goods is a mushroom adaptogen powder that's helped me to be productive, stay focused, and supports mental performance. Yes, really all those things. You reckon I would have got to 10k without it? You reckon wrong. Now, if you've seen any of the vlogs this year, you'll know I basically drink it all the time. It's a better alternative to coffee, it doesn't give you jitters, anxiety, and it doesn't give you the crash. Hallelujah. In the kits, you will get an insulated travel mug, a mini whisk, and 18 trial packs with varying flavours. So 5 coffee, 5 chocolate, 4 strawberry, and 4 vanilla cinnamon. So if you have been wanting to try this, now is your chance. This is only open to UK residents aged 18 and over, and all you have to do is comment a coffee cup emoji in the comment section below for a chance to win. The giveaway starts now and it will end in 2 weeks on the 5th of September 2025. A random generator will pick your comment and I will tell the winner to contact me with a screenshot of your comment logged into your account so I can make sure it's you to arrange delivery. But you gotta respond within 48 hours, otherwise a new winner will be selected. Terms and conditions are in the description bar below. Good luck. Thank you, future Kate. Back to the present day. Exciting. If you've made it to this point in the video, drop any one of these 3 emojis in the comments section below. And thank you so much for sticking it out to the end of this very long video. Really appreciate you being here and supporting this little channel. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, I will see you in the next one.